Hello, my name is Switches, and today I'm gonna be making a video about the Zombies timeline, Black Ops Zombies to be exact. Um, so before making this video, I had tons and tons of notes of speculations and stuff that actually happened. But recently, Treyarch actually announced a new DLC for Black Ops, which is Zombies Chronicles, which is gonna be amazing. And they also released the entire Zombies timeline. Now, I'm going to be using Call of Duty Wikipedia, and it pretty much has everything on there. I mean, it would be difficult to read off the actual poster that they released it, but alright, so this was actually requested by a lot of my friends, so here it is. Alright, this first part is called In the Beginning / Original Timeline. In the beginning, there was only the Ether and the Keepers. Among them were two beings who would later be known by many names. One would be known as Dr. Monty, and the other as Shadow Man. September 3rd, 5 AD. Knowing the planet as a gateway to Agartha, the Apothicans sent meteors to element 115 to Earth. They believe humanity will one day use element 115 to wage war amongst themselves, opening the rift that will allow them among the Apothicans to escape the dark ether. 2000s, January 15th, 1292. The Great War between humanity and the Apothicans begins. April 14th, 1294. So Pablo Marinus is saved from the clutches of Amargua by the four unknown heroes that would later be known as Primus. If you guys don't know who Pablo Marinus is, it'll come up later in the timeline, but basically he was one of the subjects Richtofen actually experimented on and later died. December 31st, 1299. Together with the Keepers, Primus defeated the Apothicans, bringing the Great War to an end. 1300s. Before they were streamingly disappeared from history, Primus instructed the Wolf King to begin building their Eisendrache, which is the castle we played on DLC 2 on Black Ops 3, September 19th, 1318. Honoring the Wolf King's dying request, his loyal servant Arthur scatters and buries his bones in the ground of the Eisendrache, accompanied by the Wolf King. If you guys have built the Wolf Bow, you guys know that those are actually his bones. So, September 20th, 1318. Temporal Rift teleports Arthur to Resolution 1295 in 2025 Angolia. Now, Resolution 1295 is actually buried, the map buried, and he actually turns out is the big giant guy we actually see there. So his real name is Arthur, but everyone calls him Leroy. In 1990s, June 30th, 1908, a meteor containing element 115 crashes in stony Tunguska River. And 1920s, August 30th, 1925, Dr. Edward Richtofen joins the Illuminati. Now this is huge. People speculated he would join the Illuminati, but we weren't actually sure. There's been quotes, but a lot of people were like, "Nah, those are just, just humorous quotes that they added in." But yep, he's in the Illuminati. 1930s, February 4th, 1931, a large deposit of element 115 is discovered near Breslau, Germany. Dr. Ludwig Maxis, a German scientist, is set to investigate. May 10th, 1931, Maxis forms Group 935, an international organization declared to study the element 115. Maxis tells his scientists that they represent the future of technology advancements and will be pioneers of human discovery. The group swears to work in secrecy from their representative governments. As Maxis says, we cannot afford to let that power fall into the wrong hands. November 5th, 1934. Samantha Maxis is born. Her mother dies at childbirth. August 11th, 1936, Maxis invites Richtofen to join Group 935. He agrees secretly, acting on behalf of the Illuminati's interests. August 10th, 1937, the Imperial Japanese Army discovers Element 115 meteor fragments in a swamp with Japanese territory. They built the Rising Sun facility to continue research. Division 9 is created to oversee this operation. June 14th, 1937, the United States government discovers deposits of Element 115 at Groom Lake. July 2nd, 1939, Maxis and Richtofen begin teleportation experiments with the Matter Transference Project. To mild success, the subjects are teleported, but their chemical components are alerted, leaving them catatonic and changed. August 5th, 1939, using Element 115, Maxis and Richtofen resurrect one of the teleporting corpses from for the first time. Initially, it obeys, but soon becomes rabid and attacks them. The test subject is killed. Richtofen brings development of the Wonder Wolf DG2 on September 3rd, 1939. November 23rd, 1939, Maxis turns to the Reichstag for additional funding, which is a part of Germany, Hitler, Nazis. There we go. Sorry about that. It was part of a Nazi branch. Germany agrees to the request, expressing interest in their weapon research, teleporting technology, and it is reanimated undead subjects. So during this time, Maxis Group 935 was actually running out of money during this time, so he had no choice but to ask them to fund them. He didn't want to, because obviously it goes against everything he wanted. He wanted to help people, and instead they're funding them so they could supply them with weapons for the war. December 4th, 1939, during trial test 151, Richtofen and Dr. Shutter successfully teleport a walnut. This is the first successful test where the chemical components of the object is maintained through the process. December 5th, 1939, Edward's walnut delivery, quotation marks, fails to impress Maxis, who declares it's a waste of time. He reveals to Richtofen that Group 95 will soon be funded by Germany. Richtofen worries that this will lead to a mass defections. He and Schnutter decide to continue teleportation experiments behind Maxis' back. 1940s. January 4th, 1940. Richtofen and Schnutter continue their first human teleportation test. Richtofen is so confident in its success, he volunteers himself. He gets teleported to the moon, where he discovers the MPD, the ether pyramid hidden by the apothecans. While inspecting the device, Richtofen is electrocuted, or shocked because he didn't die, and begins hearing the many voices of corruption, included that of the Shadow Man. The device then teleports him to Shangri-La. Corrupted by the dark ether, Richtofen is gradually being driven insane by his obsession to find Agartha. So now, we never actually knew what it was until Black Ops 3. The voices, now we know. It was apothegans, mostly the Shadow Man. So, there we go. January 5th, 1940. Richtofen is worshipped by the natives of Shangri-La. An altar is built in his name. Richtofen encounters the focusing stone for the first time. January 23rd, 1940. After a near month absence, Richtofen returns to Schnutter with a plan to build Griffin Station. January 20. 24th, 1940, Richthofen renounces his involvement with the Illuminati. When asked how he could abandon his obligations to the order, he says Teddy was a liar. March 13th, 1940. Griffin Station on the moon begins. Frustrated with Max's alignment with Germany, other disgruntling Group 935 scientists joined the cause. So he believed that he didn't agree with him like siding with Germany, and decided that he wasn't going to do what he wanted. He wanted a mass production of like the Wonder Waffles to be distributed and stuff. So he decided to go against Max's and actually build his own group, which was Griffin Station. He created a base up on the moon while Max's wasn't around, and while Max's was at the Giant, that's where his main point of operation was. He was at the Giant. At the Reisendrach, him and a group of scientists would teleport like materials and everything they needed to construct Griffin Station. So he had nothing to do with Griffin Station. It was something completely separate. Okay, July 13th, 1940, Maxis instructs his assistant Sophia to write a letter to the Reichstag High Command requesting additional funds. Through the reports that mass production will be under the way shortly, the Reich lacks not only the funding, but sufficient volumes of element 115. August 1st, 1940, in response to Max's request, Germany creates 2 new facilities for Group 935s. They are the Kino facility and a repurposed theater and the Asylum factory at the Wienau Sandsturm in Berlin. August 18th, 1940, as a request, the German Imperial Army hands over the Rising Sun facility to Group 935. Division 9 remains involved on site. October 3rd, 1940, Group 935 establishes a research facility in Siberia near Tunguska River. November 6th, 1940, Group 935 establishes a research facility at Der Reisendrach. June 24th, 1941, Nikola Belinsky's wife is killed during the Germany advances in Soviet Union. In an effort to numb the pain, Nikolai increasingly turns to vodka. So Nikolai is one of our main characters that we play as for longest in Zombies. So you guys should know who he is. If you don't, okay. January 11th, 1942. Maxis gives Fluffy to Samantha. The dog is The dog is expecting a litter, so she's expecting puppies. January 20th, 1942. Maxis tests the first file for storage on the data servant. July 26th, 1942. On the data servant, Maxis catalogs locations with prominent element 115 deposits. He includes information about its various applications and sites. That reanimation of dead cells is possible side effect. January 30th, 1942, Richthofen completes the Wonder Waffle DG2 prototype. February 1st, with Griffin Station completed, Richthofen names Dr. Groff lead scientist and returns to Earth to continue the charade with Maxis. Working alongside Schneider, Groff is left to discover how the power of the MPD. February 2nd, 1942. In a speech to his staff, Groff talks optimistically about Griffin Station establishment as a permanent base of operations. April 17th, 1942. Maxis develops the ray gun prototype at the Rising Fall facility. H. Porter works on the development and the second generation model. Alright guys, well, there's still a lot in this, this part of the timeline. But if you guys wanna hear more, a little more, if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. So just leave those down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe. It'll really help me out. And hope you guys enjoyed.